What's up, y'all? It's better late than never. I know. I should have had my video out earlier, but it's been one of those days. So, welcome back to Authentically RGB TV. If you are new here, we are going to be reviewing my favorite show, America's favorite show, Abbott Elementary. And if you're not new here, hey, y'all. So, yeah, they spoiled us this time around with two episodes, so that made the entire show an hour long. So I'm just gonna run through what happened on the first part and on the second part. So the first part was all about the holiday program. We saw Janine getting ready with the step team to do their annual Christmas program. Barb's class, which you all know she teaches kindergarten, she was headlining it, and she had all these songs and all these plans going on. And then come to find out, through all of her planning, she forgot that there were some students of hers who could not participate because of their religion. They didn't celebrate Christmas. So she decided to X out the entire program, and instead of calling it like whatever Christmas theme it was just going to be like the Abbott Winter Show. And so she just happened to have everybody just, like I said, X out what they were doing, change the plans, and she was going to have the entire program go in a different direction. And before all of that, though, we found out that Melissa's family is coming over for Christmas Eve dinner, and she's like worked up about that. And we all know that her and Jacob live together, and so he's trying his best to, help or offer advice and just want be included, basically, because his family does not live there. But there was a surprise because his younger brother, I think his name was Caleb, he came and he didn't seem too happy about it. And we soon find out the reason why is because he's everybody's favorite. He was the jock. He, just has good energy, good vibes. While he introduced him to like all of the, his teacher crew, like everybody was like, oh my gosh, like, why can't you be like this, Jacob? And you could see he was just like fuming on the inside because, again, he's so used to him being the golden child, as he said, and just taking the spotlight and being everybody's favorite. And he just basically, left home and just wanted to make a life for himself. And his brother Caleb being there and trying to take his shine, I guess, just made him feel some type of way. So he was not happy about it. And so we saw that progress throughout the first half of the episode. So, as everybody's still preparing for the winter show now, Tariq approaches Barb and lets her know that, he's a part of the PTA. The parents are not happy about her changing up the Christmas program, and she needs to figure out something. So now he has involved himself. Meanwhile, because Barb has changed the direction of everything, Janine is like scrambling with her step team to figure out a routine, and she's giving a list of songs and trying to figure out how they could, pivot, and ends up butting in on her and Tariq's conversation. And Barb let her know, like, no, I'm gonna do my own song. So she wanted to put her pen to the paper and make up a song so she could teach her class, and it'll be one that she claims is going to be a holiday classic, right? And so while all of that is going on, A was making sure that all of the, I guess, the technological things are up to par and switched around and all of that stuff, the decorations. And we see the IT guy, so I'm glad that he's coming around more. And we all know that from the first time they met, he was giving Ava a little play, and she was being all aggressive, but also starting to like him a little bit. And I feel like that's what she was doing. They was doing their little aggressive flirting back and forth or whatever. And every time she would walk away, she would act like she had an attitude or like didn't care, but then give this little smirk. So I was like, yeah, he's gonna be coming around some more. So like I said, Barb is making up her own song. She's trying to teach it to her class. it's not working. Janine's like trying to figure out the routines and stuff like that. And finally, Barb decides, you know what? I'm gonna sing the song, because the song that the kids wanted to sing was not appropriate, and I cannot remember the lyrics for the life of me. But them kids was running it off so quick. It was so funny, and I was like, my dad, he used to teach us those inappropriate songs too, so that's what I just cracked up on that part. So again, Jacob's brother Caleb is going around the school, making his rounds, being the cool guy to some of Jacob's students, and they invite him to their podcast, and he's just like, again, just annoyed by his brother, like super, super annoyed by his brother being around. And so he basically said that like he hoped that his brother being there, they were having a conversation in the highway during like one of the little moments where Jacob just went out, and he was hoping that his brother being there would have like strengthened their relationship or changed their relationship, because he'd been gone from home for so long. But he finds out that it's still the same. Like, he's always just doing the most and being everybody's favorite, and he just basically just went off on his brother, and he's tired of his brother just being everybody's favorite and pushing him off to the sidelines. And so they just have words, and his brother just walks off and leaves. And then you can see instantly how he felt bad about how he did it. And so Greg ends up approaching him later on in the day, and he allows Jacob to vent to him about how he's feeling. But Greg quickly like changed the situation and had this little cute little moment to show that no, like, your brother really adores you, your brother loves you. You only heard part of what he was saying, you didn't hear the full conversation. And I understand your frustration, but listen to what your brother has to say. So he let him listen to a part of the podcast, and his brother was like basically saying how much he loved his brother and looked up to him and all of that stuff, and it kind of changed Jacob's mind. And I was like, that was a cute little moment for their friends. And so as they were setting up for the holiday program, Jacob and Caleb had a conversation. Jacob apologized, and they made amends, and they moved on in, communication. Communication is everything, right? Right. So now the show is on. The house is packed with the students. Everything is everything. The technology is working. The decorations are different. Like, it's a winter wonderland like you never seen before. And Tariq and Janine and Barb are all up on the stage. Barb is ready to take over. She's going to sing the song. The kids are going to do whatever it is. The step team is going to step, and everything is everything. And she's found a way to allow her student who, doesn't celebrate Christmas to be included, because it's all about inclusivity when we out in the world with different cultures and religions and stuff. So as Ava introduces her, she starts to sing. Doesn't go well at all. So then quickly Tariq steps in and pivots yet again the entire plan, changed it up, and told the kids to sing their song. He had his little drum, little drum pad, did his little beat. The step team went in, did what they did, freestyle and stuff. And Barb was freaking out. Janine was freaking out. But at the end of the day, like, everybody you could see in the audience was vibing. They had a good time. They were smiling. They was laughing. They enjoyed it. And quickly Barb was just like, this was all about. It's all about seeing everybody happy, everybody involved. And even during the encore of their song, the inappropriate one at that, the little girl's mom came and told Barb that her daughter was extremely happy that she was included in the program, and just made her day. So that made Barb's day, because that's all she wanted, was for everybody to feel special, to be valued, to feel loved, and to enjoy the time, the winter time, enjoy the holidays, and just basically just being happy and spending time together, because that is what it's all about. But throughout the entire episode, everybody was saying something about Mr. Greg's haircut, and I noticed it yesterday, and I just watched it again just so I wouldn't miss anything. I was like, it looks a little different from episode 1 to episode 2, and I was like, his hair. He must have been growing his hair out because everybody was mentioning it in the first half. And uh, so by the end of the first half of the episode, he goes to the barbershop. He's sitting in a chair. His barber is not there, but there's another man who comes, and he's an older man. And he's like, "Oh, your barber, tell me what you want. I got you." They have a little small talk. Finds out that he's a teacher. He's like, "Oh, I have a daughter who's a teacher, or who's in education." And he couldn't think of the name of the school. Come to find out, it's the same exact school as Greg's. So there was some little tea that was spilled there. And then we get into part 2. Alright, so part 2 opens up with everybody showing up during Christmas break to the school one by one, surprising each other. Basically, everybody's there for their own little reasons. Melissa's coming to pick up food. Barb's coming to get milk and all of that stuff so that it won't spoil over the break. Janine's grabbing toilet paper. I don't remember if Greg was there, but I do know that Jacob pulled up and he was ready to go. And I said, my friend Jacob, homeboy thought that they had to come to work. He forgot that they was on break. He said he just saw Melissa running out the door and followed behind her because she's always leaving. Didn't realize that they didn't have school. And I was like, man, that's happened to me before. Not while working at elementary school, but while working at the hospital. Happened to me a couple of times. Forgot that I was off and got dressed, was on time, and still showed up and just left right after. But anyway, so they're having conversations like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? And then by the end, when everybody's about to leave, Janine, formally invites everybody to spend time at her house on Christmas Eve with her and Greg, but everybody declines because they have their own plans. Like I said before, Barb is going to be with Melissa. Jacob and Caleb are going to be with Melissa at her Christmas Eve party with her family. And so we don't really know what Mr. Johnson's going to do. We don't know about Ava, but we know that Greg and Janine are going to spend time together. And that was pretty much the introduction. So while Melissa and Jacob and his brother Caleb are preparing for the meal, she lets them know that she's just like stressed out about it because she basically has this family where they're very pushy, very aggressive, very vocal, very quote unquote traditional, but really backwards, if I could say that. And she just basically has something to prove to them. And they always got something to say, so she wants to make sure that her dinner is a success. She wants to make sure that she can show them like she got this. She's a woman of that wears many hats, and she don't need no man for nothing, because that's what it all boiled down to. And I was like, that's right, girl, you better show them. But I get it. Like, you want validation from your family. You want, them to pat you on the back here and there. But at the end of the day, as long as you good with you, that's all that matters. So at Janine's, her and her boo Greg, they're spending QT together. They're getting their movie time together. They're, just having their hot cocoa and baking cookies just in case people come. Like, she's just loving every minute of it. And they do exchange gifts. They end up doing the very, trendy thing to have those matching pajamas. And even while they are there together, they're not expecting anybody, but they get a knock at the door, and it's Mr. Johnson being his little cranky, caring, quirky self. And he done dropped off some gifts, so to say, and he gave them a book about how to have a personality. I'm saying, not a book about how to have a personality. And they was like, oh, great. And then he leaves to go do what he does, and then up comes Ava. She pops up, and to their surprise, and I'm sure everybody else is surprised, because she always makes it known that she don't want to be involved in nothing, but she ends up popping up and spends Christmas Eve with Janine and Greg. Like I said, back in Melissa's house, her family is getting on her last nerve, and that Uncle Archie of hers was getting on mine too. He was a mess, very, very mess. Everybody's there, but everybody's having a good time. And while everybody is like mingling and stuff, Caleb and Jacob went upstairs for whatever reason and end up having an interesting discovery, should I say, with that Uncle Archie that's a hot mess. And so they let Melissa in on the secret. Melissa is just like, you know what? We're not going to say a word until after dinner. Not going to ruin this experience. It can wait. So then Barb comes in like, hey, like, what are y'all doing? You know, everybody's hungry. They let her in on the secret, and she's like, look, I'm with Melissa. This is her house. This is her dinner. Don't nobody say nothing. So just secrets here, secrets there. Mind you, in the first part, Greg did not tell Janine or Ava that he got some tea. Right, so keep that in mind. It's a lot of secrets going on around here. So meanwhile, Ava is being a mess, being pushy, you know, smart aleck or whatever. And like I said, he didn't let either of them know that he had some tea on her. So they were basically saying that how surprised they were that she didn't have plans, and she just kept blowing it off, you know, saying she don't got family and all of that stuff. And it was annoying Janine. If I can say that, she was like, you could tell she was annoyed, and she basically asked Greg to ask her to leave. So he's like, okay, I'll do it. And he goes and is basically wants to know what's up with her, because any other time you don't want to be here, so what's really going on? And then, like he said, I heard you say you didn't have no family here, but I know some things about you that you don't know that I know. So he lets her in on it, and she's like, look, don't tell Janine. I don't want her to go and try to fix the situation, because I don't want nothing to do with nothing that has to do with that situation. So just let it be or whatever. And so he decides to not tell her to leave, to not be pushy, and lets Janine know, like, hey, I didn't quite tell her to leave. And she's like, what is going on? Again, everybody keeping secrets. Everybody's just doing the most. And so, like I said, she stays, and Janine kind of is getting the feeling that something's up. And she wants to figure out what it is. Then back at Melissa, she's loving all of the praise. She's loving all the validation and the whatever from her family. They're telling her how good of a cook she is, what she's doing well, but they still have their jokes, and they still have their little digs that they have at her, but she's giving them out left and right. But still, the secret is still out. And then all of a sudden, there's a knock at the door again, and it's Mr. Johnson, who drops off some daggone highlight color for your hair, and tells her to fix them roots. And then he says to tell Jacob that he got to come pick him up and take him sledding in the Christmas morning, and he leaves again. And I was like, this man is calling himself the Mr. Johnson Claus or whatever it is, but he had on the whole Santa suit with the bag and spreading his holiday cheer or whatever. So then, as Melissa's getting ready to give, you know, these delicious cannolis to the family, she gets another knock at the door. What do you know? It's an emergency crew. They're asking her all type of questions. Everybody's starting to be like, what's going on? Then come to find out, her little boo, the firefighter, he shows up. The mom knows who he is. She's introducing him to everybody, like putting her business out on blast. And then all of a sudden, the big shebang happens. The secret is out. And what they thought was a secret ended up not being true. So then everybody was relieved, but also like, what the heck is going on? And at the end of the day, her Christmas party was a success, and her family was proud of her, and she did it, and she was happy. She was very happy about it. And back at Janine's, her and Greg are having a little spat back and forth, trying to keep it down because they don't want Ava and to know that that they're arguing. But of course, she makes her comments, and she knows that they're talking about her. So she basically lets it be known that Greg found out that she does have family there, which is her father in Philly, and she didn't say anything and didn't want Greg to say anything because, again, she didn't want Janine to try to be the fixer and force a relationship or try to find him and have this whole Christmas miracle. Basically, she didn't have nowhere else to go. And it was kind of like a relief, but also Janine understood where she was coming from, because each and every one of them have their own different family dynamics, a little bit. And so she was just like, oh, you wanted to spend time with your family. And I was like, yeah, that's cute. Whole time, Ava was just using them before she went to a party. She was just over there to kill time. She got up so quick after they exchanged them silly gifts and got on that party bus and was gone. And at the end of the day, it was still their very own special Christmas. And I feel like everybody got something out of it. Everybody felt good about themselves, good about where they stand with their family. And at the end of the day, to them, that was all that mattered. And lastly, y'all, Mr. Johnson, or Johnson Claus, whatever you want to call him, he ended his night at the North Pole. If you know, you know. And he was ready to go. He did what he had to do throughout the day. And homeboy was ready to hit that North Pole quick, fast, and in a hurry. So yeah, this was a cute episode. I'm so glad that they gave us a whole hour. This lets me know that this show could be an hour, but I also like the fact that, you know, it's 30 minutes. It like keeps you wanting more, and coming back for more. It's not long and, you know, drawn out. So I guess we will be back in the new year, unless they have another episode next week or the week before that. But I'm not sure. I'll have to check and see, and if so, I'll be back next week and the week after that and the week after that. I know it kind of went fast, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know that I enjoy these episodes every single week. And I hope you guys come back and tell people about this channel and some more reviews. And I am officially finished with my first semester back at school, so I have some more free time and hopefully get some more content out besides just on Wednesdays. But until then, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Yes, I do. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.